What's up with it? It's your boy McFly, man, the hardest working man in shoe-tainment today. Coming at you again with this grand finale, man. The time is upon us. If this is your first time over here in the land of McFly, man, I welcome you. I appreciate you stopping by. Hopefully you come back, man, enjoy my content, become a frequent flyer. Subscribe to the winning team, man. Share my videos. I appreciate everybody stopping by, man, and checking in on these reaction videos that I be doing and whatnot, man. I just like to give another perspective on things that's going on that a lot of people don't talk about. Also, current goal set. We're trying to hit 300 subs by January 1st, man. So make sure you hit that subscribe button right there on your screen where it says subscribe. Just go ahead, touch it right now. I give you 2 seconds. Gave you more than 2 seconds. See how generous I am? For those of y'all that hit the button, I appreciate you. But for now, bruh, I've been waiting all week, man, to shoot this video, man. We had a bunch of stuff going on at work and whatnot, and I just didn't have time to really put up no vids. But we're going to get this one out. Like I said, it's the grand finale. This is my part 3 of the Dammn Dee and Unbreakable Kicks situation. And this is all I got to say. This the end of it, man. I won't make another video on this, addressing this or discussing this. You know what I'm saying? It's finally over, man. I've been following this whole situation since around August. Actually, my first video was on this situation. My first upload in August, man. So I started this channel in August. You can go check both of those videos out to get you up to speed about what I've been saying this entire time. But everybody knows, man, that boy Dammn Dee came with the heat, man, and his video with the court purples and the pine greens, man. He came with it. He brought it. You know, I don't really think that he fully proved that the shoes are fake. You know, just because somebody says that the shoe are fake, don't really mean that it's fake. Just because a stitch is off doesn't mean that the shoe is fake, man. I mean, I know that Nike check portion that he was showing with the check on the court purples or whatnot, you know, that could have been a stitching error. You do have flawed shoes. You do have error shoes. You do have B-graded shoes. I personally think that that court purple is probably fake, man. That pine green, I'm not really so sure. But, you know, here's what I'm skeptical about. You know, you just got some guy saying that Unbreakable, you know, sent me fake shoes. And Dammn Dee pulled the videos in those 2 accounts. And Unbreakable could have denied liability on both of those. Like, Brian, had nothing to do with that. You know, them pine greens, whatever. You know, but there's no way to know that the pair that Unbreakable Kicks truly sent, those pine greens is what I'm talking about. There's no way to know that that was that pair. You don't have a way to know that. Like, hey, he could have got a legit pair in from Unbreakable Kicks and did a review saying that, hey, you know, this shoe was a bobo. You know what I'm saying? Swapped them out, trying to finesse them. People finesse all the time. Finessing game is strong out here. Not saying that that's the case. You know, I personally don't know what Unbreakable sent. I don't know. But I do know that he had the text messages. I do know that he talked to the guy. I do know that he took the shoe back and gave the guy his money back. I do know that he said he got the shoe back and didn't even check it. That's what made me believe that shoe was fake. If I sell a shoe to anybody and you come at me and you say this shoe is fake, I'm gonna say, all right, bro, send it to me. I'm not refunding you until I get it. I'm not refunding you until I get it. I'm not refunding you until I look at it. Every shoe that I ship out, I look at, I'm not gonna send nobody nothing that's question mark. I'm not going to stash it at my parents' house. You know, if it's fake, you know, what you going to do with that? I'm not even going to keep it. I'm going to give it away or something. I'm just not going to let it rot away at my parents' house. But regardless of what you do with it, I'm going to check it. I'm not going to take your word as a buyer for anything. Now, I pay attention to facts and truths, man. But all facts are not truth and all truths are not facts. And that's what a lot of people have a hard time understanding. So pretty much Unbreakable bit the bullet for the Pine Greens. You know, he still hadn't checked them. He might not check them. He might check them. I don't really know. But the big fish in the sneaker game just pretty much got popped off of 2 video clips of supposedly UA shoes. And it was sent everybody in a frenzy. And that's, you know what I'm saying? That's all it takes to really, you know what I'm saying, destroy somebody's character. A text message conversation and a couple video clips from a YouTube video. That's crazy, man. Like, that's insane to me that's all it takes, man. If both of those shoes are fake, then Unbreakable's definitely in the wrong. You know, totally. Once he started talking about outsourcing, and you know, what got me is he was like, yeah, well, you know, I outsourced on them Pine Greens, man. You know, I just traded a dude in the mall. Who's in the mall with a fake pair of ones just waiting to finesse somebody? Is that the game? I mean, I don't know. I don't trade shoes in the mall, but are people doing that? You know what I'm saying? Let me know in the comments, man. If people just be at the mall ready to trade some fake some fake shoes to suspecting people. But he goes and said, yeah, I only outsourced one time, man. That was on the Pine Greens. And then Retro or somebody was like, yo, well, what happened with the court purples? Yeah, I outsourced them too. See, like, Unbreakable really dug his own grave. He dug his own grave with this, man. Because you outsourced twice, and the 2 times that you outsourced are potentially fakes. You know, you say fine line and I already told you not to outsource, and you're outsourcing anyway. You're like, whatever, give me that 9.5 at the mall, Julio. I appreciate that. You know, I don't even remember where I got these court purples from. They still sitting over here. Let me grab them. And he tried to show the shoe, and then Dunn's is like, nah, bruh, that ain't that same shoe. Yo, if you haven't seen Skinny's podcast, man, that thing was hilarious, yo. I dropped so many bombs in the comments on that joint. I was just dropping bomb emojis like the whole time, man. It was crazy. But it was also hard to watch, man. And I really feel, I won't say that I feel bad for Unbreakable because he was lying. He straight up was lying this whole time. He was lying. He was riding that lie to the grave. And that got brought out. And he still could have had a legitimate defense, you know, had he not just went and did that. Like, well, hey, let me go take these 2 pair of shoes. Let me take them to somebody, get them legit checked. Because everybody knows shoes come with flaws, man. Shoes come with manufacturing flaws. Shoes come with stitching flaws. This quality control over there in China ain't shit. And we all know that. Had it been me, I would have been like, listen, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take both of these shoes. We're going to take them to somebody to legit check them. And if they say they fake, then they fake. My bad. I fucked up. But if they say they real, what you call it now? Well, it's a B grade all of a sudden. You know, it's a UA all of a sudden. You know what I'm saying? What can you say to that instead of just coming out and saying, yeah, man, I did it. I made a mistake. I will never do it again. I'm sorry. I've been lying this whole time. Like, that's not the way you have. People need to, like, consult their friends and shit before they go jumping on live streams and, you know what I'm saying, destroying your credibility or whatever. You know, shout out to Dammn Dee for his video. It was entertaining. It was funny. You know, you brought up some points, but there was still room in there for Unbreakable to disprove your findings. Excuse me. Yeah, I just finished eating. Damn. But, you know, he didn't even bother. He just went ahead, bit the bullet, told all these lies. And I'm sure he sold fake shoes, just like everybody say. He's done business and he's sent stuff to other people. But if you so easily willing to outsource some shit against your better judgment, I don't think that's your first time outsourcing. I can't prove it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just giving my opinion. I don't think that's his first time outsourcing. Where do we go from here though? Like, I don't really know where we go from here. You know, I guess Unbreakable is going to keep doing this thing. Dammn Dee's probably going to keep roasting them. I don't know what Ra-Ra's going to do. I guess he's seeking an apology or whatever. So, I don't think we at the end of this, but me personally, I'm at the end of it because it's really nothing left to be said. It's nothing else that I realistically need to hear. You got popped for selling 2 fake shoes. If you pull up a video or you work something out to where you can prove that those shoes are real, then, I'll reconsider my stance on that. But a guy getting caught up selling, getting caught up with 2 fake pairs of shoes, it's no different than your local mom and pop getting their Nike or Jordan brand contract suspended because they were backdooring or selling fakes. You know what I'm saying? You can get over that. We got local places here. They got their contracts taken away for selling fake shoes, for backdooring. And, they were suspended or whatever. And after a certain amount of time, they got their clearance back. I also think that at some point, DTLR had their joint suspended too, because a couple years ago, for a while, DTLR wasn't getting J's. And I think they were suspended too when that got reinstated. I don't know all the details behind it, but I see this as the same thing. Unbreakable, you got caught doing some shady shit, and right now your contracts is suspended. And it's pretty much up to you to rebuild that foundation, regain people's trust. You're too big of a fish, man. A lot of people are bought from you, and a lot of people can, verify that you have done legitimate business with them. So it's just a matter of your decision making. You've got to make better decisions. You cannot afford to have this happen. I'm sure you've lost, some subs or whatnot, and your views might be down for a little bit, and, you might want to wait for you gear up on some damn pre-orders. Just chill out for a minute. Luckily, it's nothing pre-order worthy dropping, you know what I'm saying, until next year. So, just keep it cool and wait it out. I hear a lot of people bringing up Scoop's situation, and I feel like Unbreakable's situation is worse. Scoop didn't sell nobody a shoe. He was just middleman, and then the shit went south. Unbreakable literally sold this shoe, so it puts him in a totally different category. If anybody is on the same level as Scoop, it's Dammn Dee. Like, straight up. It's Dammn Dee, and it's a lot of people not talking about this, but I had a guy subscribe to my channel the other day. Shout out to you, bro. His name is, what's his name? J.Mac or J.Mac. I think it's J.Mac, M-A-K. He subscribed to me a couple days ago, and when people subscribe to my channel, I always go see if they have a channel. Just try to check them out and, see what they're doing. If I like what they're doing, I subscribe back. Or whatnot, just to show my appreciation for your subscription. So he subbed. I went over there and saw that he was a ShoeTuber too. So I was going through his list, and this man had a video where some place that Dammn Dee was promoting basically backed out on the deal. You know what I'm saying? Sold him a shoe and then backed out on it. The shoe never showed up. Can't get in contact with him. Can't do this. Can't do that. That's pretty much the same thing as what, Scoop was doing. He paid the man, and man backed out on the deal. You know what I'm saying? That's bad business. But nobody talking about that. Ain't nobody bringing that up. Maybe people don't know, so that's why I'm bringing it up now. If anybody's comparable to Scoop, it's Dammn Dee. Unbreakable is in a totally different category because he personally sold them shoes, man. He did it. It was his fault. He's got to take the L for it. I think that, he's realistically accepted that. And, he can tighten up and, he can move on. But for all the people that's forgiving and, not mad at Unbreakable and are fans and, love Unbreakable and are willing to forgive him, if you are going to forgive Unbreakable Kicks for selling fake shoes that has been proven that he admitted to, unless he can change the narrative at a later date, put that fine print in there, then you have to forgive Scoop for what he did. You got to forgive him too. If you're going to, I say it again, if you're going to forgive Unbreakable, then you got to forgive Scoop too. And if this Dammn Dee shit ever hit the fan like this Unbreakable stuff did, you going to have to forgive Dammn Dee too. ShoeTubers make mistakes, man. They make mistakes. Hell, retailers make mistakes. You know what I'm saying? I'm working on a video now that we coming out with next week with these Concord 11s, bro. Can't wait for everybody to see that. You know what I'm saying? That's another part of the reason why I was gone all week, man. I've been researching. But I digress. If you forgive Unbreakable, you got to forgive Scoop. You got to forgive Dammn Dee. You got to forgive everybody that's been brought up in some fake shit. Because right now, Unbreakable's done the worst than all of them. So, Scoop, if you get a channel resurrection, you're welcome, brother. You're welcome. I did that for you, son. I don't know you. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. I'm just putting it out there. You're going to forgive one, you got to forgive them all. That's the game that we play. Another thing that I couldn't really understand is all this name dropping. You know, Unbreakable, you get your kicks from Fine Line or the malls or the mom and pop. Wherever the hell you get your shoes from, bro. That's your business, man. As long as they real, I don't care. And just like I said in my rah-rah video, you gotta stop giving up this information. Stop being in mom and pop stores showing boxes and shit, bro. Y'all don't realize people can track them boxes? Like, people can find out what this shit is. Y'all, where these places are, where these boxes came from. Like, they can run that shit right back. Like, oh, this the code on that box. Zoom in on it. Zoom, zoom. Oh, this was Mom and Pop's retro shop off of 17th Street. Oh, hell no. We got a man in there buying 40 fucking pairs of Concords early and showing the box. What the fuck? What is wrong with y'all? Stop doing that shit, man. You know, I understand that you trying to give proof. Cut that shit out. You getting that business in trouble. And if somebody, you know, big enough up the ladder want to start digging and looking at that shit, y'all boys in trouble. I'm talking about big trouble. You just sacrifice whoever livelihood that is, at least for their J's. They're going to be selling UAs for real, for real. If they don't want UAs, that contract get revoked, they're going to be selling UAs shortly. Shortly. That's all I'm saying. And Dammn Dee's like, oh, well, he was showing the box, acting like the Concords came in that box. Wrong. Unbreakable Kicks never said that those Concords came out of them boxes. He said that he was at the mom and the pop shop. He showed a box showing that they are official, that this stuff officially came from Nike, or something in that store officially came from Nike. Not once did he say them shits had Concords in them boxes. That's a false narrative, man. That's where people see stuff, but they don't interpret what's really going on properly. You guys got to think, man. You got to think. Use your brain, bro. Use your brain. Go back and watch that video. All he said was, this how Chicago do. How many pairs I'm getting? But it was like, nigga, you getting too many pairs. Shit. You getting too many. You know what I'm saying? And they boxing them up. He shouldn't have showed that box, man. That's all I'm saying. He shouldn't have showed that box. That's getting people in trouble. He shouldn't have bought up Fine Line. He definitely shouldn't have bought up court. You can't sue for court for true allegations. You know what I'm saying? I've been to college, bro. I was a criminal justice major. I was really heavy in the law. You know what I'm saying? I studied a lot of shit, and you cannot sue nobody under false pretenses. You can't do that. The only way you could sue Dammn Dee is if you could prove that that pine green and that court purple was an authentic shoe. If you can prove that, then you might have a case. Then it's defamation. Then it's slander. Under those circumstances, because you had a real shoe. But if that shoe a bobo, nope. Don't even waste your money, bro. You know what I'm saying? Don't even go to down that line. Which I don't think he would have anyway, man. I think he was just saying, like, oh, well, my shoe's fake, then you need to tell Fine Line that his shoe's fake. You know, I'm going to call my lawyer. Just joking around. Like, you know, people play around with words like that. And that's like I've been saying in my past 3 videos. You know, don't get these little messages or these little comments and, you know, you read what you want to hear. You don't really read what they're saying. Unbreakable saying, well, you know, shit, if my shoe's fake, then Fine Line shoe's fake too. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna call my lawyer. Dammn Dee ready like, well, motherfucker, if my shoe's fake, then Fine Line shoe's fake, I'm gonna sue your ass. No. Context taking your contacts all out, bro. You're killing your contacts. And if you backdooring or whatnot, that's a bad deal. You can't sue for that either because you're doing illegal shit. They'll shut you down. They'll shut that store down. All y'all niggas going to jail. Fraudulent merchandise. It's not a good look, bro. It's not a good look at all. So from a court point of view, you know, dead that. You can't do it unless you can prove that those shoes are real, which they probably ain't. So at any rate, man, you know, that's where we at. That's where we at right now. There was one more point that I had in my mind and I just lost it. I'm kind of mad about it because I want to speak on that, but that's what happens, man, when you go on the fly, bro. Sometimes you forget some shit or whatever. All right, I lied, man. I'm back. I remembered. I remembered what I was going to say. When Dammn Dee was talking about everybody, you know, send your evidence to him if you've ever bought if you ever got a fake shoe or whatnot, you know what I'm saying? Send the evidence to him and, you know, he'll be the one to, you know, keep you anonymous, but put the information out there. I feel like a lot of people gonna eat that up. And I feel like a lot of people are gonna be faking and frauding about what they actually got from Unbreakable Kicks. Some people might actually be telling the truth, but, you know, we don't really have a way to tell. But we all know that this game is based on clout. It's based on, you know, who can get the biggest buzz. It's based on who can say this, who can, you know, say that. Now, you know, I stay away from all that. You know what I'm saying? I strictly keep it to my videos, my reviews, my vlogs, my discussions. You know, the only time I bring this type of stuff up is when I'm reacting to it. But, you know, that's kind of my job, you know, to report the news. But so a lot of people going to be hitting up Dammn Dee. They're going to be sending them pictures. They're going to be sending them videos. They're going to be sending them receipts or whatnot. And, you know, what's stopping them from just sending a fake shoe that they already had and saying that Unbreakable sold it to them? Dammn Dee's not going to get with Unbreakable and have him verified. They're not putting their names out there. You know what I'm saying? So Unbreakable can't verify. There's just going to be a bunch of people saying, hey, Unbreakable sent me a fake shoe. And you know how people are, man. They will fuel this shit. They will fuel it to the max. Just because they can. Oh, man, you know what I'm saying? People got whole fake collections. They're going to say Unbreakable gave them to them. You know, everything's going to be coming from Unbreakable. Unbreakable this, Unbreakable that. And then on top of that, you got everybody saying that Unbreakable be blocking people, which he do be blocking people. You know, he blocked Rah-Rah, and so it's like, nah, I ain't about to unblock Rah-Rah either. I ain't unblocking him. So, you know, I think a lot of people is going to be on that. You know, I actually think I'm going to do my next video on clout chasing versus opinion. I think that's how I'm going to title it. Clout chasing versus opinion. Because it's different from somebody having an opinion and you know, somebody clout chasing. But anyway, people going to be sending in all type of fake stuff. And Dammn Dee, like I said, Dammn Dee ain't going to check it. He ain't going to check that shit, bro. He ain't going to check it. So it's just going to be like, hey, he said he got fake. He said he got a fake. All these people said he got fake from Unbreakable. Bluesy, bluesy, blue. He ain't going to have no way to prove it because they want to remain anonymous. They want to remain anonymous for a reason. If I bought a shoe from Unbreakable Kicks and that shoe was fake, I'd say, hey, Unbreakable, what's up, bro? You sold me a fake shoe. It's Mark Kaminsky. You remember me? Fuck me for the last time. Goddamn, there's a bomb in the building. Like that. You know what I'm saying? Like that. And if I can't get in touch with him, then I'll take it to, you know, somebody else on another platform or whatever to see if, you know, we can get his attention, you know, that way. But I'm going to go to him first because we done already talked. We done already had it. It's up to him to fix it. But if you ain't going to him from the jump, you're not giving him an opportunity to fix it. You're not giving him an opportunity to make it right. And the last point that I wanted to make is since he's outsourcing and whatnot, how many fakes has he really sold? You know, for him to have outsourced twice without batting an eye at it, how many times has he outsourced before? Has he outsourced all the time? You know, that makes me kind of skeptical about, you know, his decision making. And I heard Rah say one time he was making a point about the concourse and how he got so many so early in the time frames. And, you know, I don't know what they do in Chicago, but I know it's cheat code city. But, man, he did have a bunch of concourse, like, mad early, like, dumb, stupid early, like, early. And that, you know, man, bro, listen, I ain't trying to condemn nobody. I try to have a, you know, a neutral opinion when it comes to these things. But some shit ain't possible. Now, I don't know if he gonna ever go into detail or elaborate on that, or if he's done with it or whatever, but that look a little shady. But all I can say at the end of the day, man, is, you know, Unbreakable, move better. You know what I'm saying? Keep your head up, bro. You know, keep your shit together. Don't break. You know, stay up, ride it out. And just get back right. You just got to rebuild. It's like you starting back from ground zero. Now, anything that you send anybody, they're going to be checking it like the feds. And if one thing ain't right, bro, you going to hear all about it. So just brace yourself for that, man. And, you know, realistically be prepared, bro. Because you know what's coming if something ain't right. And I think that was it. I think that's all my points. Not speaking on this no more. I appreciate y'all stopping by. Y'all know I have the greatest commentary in the world. And we'll get at you, man. It's your boy McFly. I holla at you.